All right. We are here tonight with Randall Daniel. I met Randall at the beginning of, what was that? Was that 2019, Randall?
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah, it was a library in, I don't even remember what county that was.
Bullitt County. It was the
Bullitt County. There you go.
Lebanon
Easy.
Public Library right here in my home county of Bullitt.
And it was for the District 2 convention. And there were how many of us?
Less than a dozen, and half of them were from Bullitt County. We were affiliating the first affiliate party in the 2nd Congressional District.
Right. Now that was the next thing I was going to ask. Is I was going to ask because, well, explain the party organization. I mean, just real briefly. What do you mean affiliate? What is an affiliate?
Well, I kind of think of it as like a parental, like a parent's, like a family tree, right? Where it's a hierarchically structured system. You have the national party, which is just the chartering party for each of its affiliates. So the state level parties that affiliate or associate officially and are recognized as doing such. There's one in each of the 50 states plus, DC. I don't know if Puerto Rico has one. It'd be interesting to look up. But that's kind of the structure there. But it breaks down further, and each of the congressional districts here in Kentucky also affiliate with our state party. And they serve with their chair as an executive member of the state executive committee. So the structure is chair, vice chair, secretary, treasurer, and then between 1 and 4 at-large representatives set by the body in convention, and then the chairs for the affiliate parties below that level. And that's consistent from the state to the district and then down to the county level, which is where politics really start to get fun.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of structure. What is the point to all of that?
Well, it's to allow oversight and autonomy. So take, for example, if the Bullitt County Party wants to do the Bullitt Blast Shepherdsville City Fair, we don't have to consult the National Libertarian Party to get their good graces to do so.
Right.
We just make it happen.
And somebody's local to know about it, because I'm betting Nick Sarwark or whoever the national chair is doesn't actually know about the Bullitt Blast.
Well, that's why we need to elect Ken Mullman, because he knows about the Bullitt Blast if he wins vice chair.
There you go. We'll accept your donation a little later, Ken.
Yeah. But it also allows oversight. So, for example, I serve on my district executive committee, and that's in part because the district's instilled some faith in me, as I've been involved with the party for a couple of years now, and I've got a decent understanding of the way things are supposed to work. So let's say that a county party had a question and they need to ask somebody an answer. Well, that would be far too many counties to go all the way up to the national party. So part of what I get to do is be a resource to the party structure that's below.
Now, the way we ended up on this tangent is you mentioned Bullitt was the first county affiliate in District 2.
Yeah, currently we have 4, which is more than any other district in our state. So our county, our district is comprised of 19 complete counties and then parts of 2 others. Well, I guess it's 18 complete counties. Washington has 1 precinct that is in District 1, but, Washington County, you're D2, pure through and through to me. But we've got 4. We've got Bullitt, Barron, Warren, and Hardin County. We've got great people and great teams out there, and they're working because we've got the northern and the southern halves of our district. So we're trying to, bridge down and connect, and then go east and west so that we can get out to Davies County, which is Owensboro, and then out to where this Rob Perry guy lives out in Mercer County.
It's way out there, but yeah, we need to talk to Matt Todd about that. Are you on, Matt? We need to get a little activity going here, and that's kind of what tonight's about. is Randall has actually been recognized by the National Party. Thanks to Ken Molman. Ken threw Randall's name out at the national level, letting them know what a awesome job Randall had done on recruiting and building affiliates. So we thought we would talk a little tonight about affiliate. So we talked a little about affiliate, what affiliate is, and we talked about some of their function. But I mean, really, why start an affiliate? I mean, why not just go to the district meeting?
Well, my experience with my first district meeting is one that's kind of comical, and I'm going to embellish it just a little. But my first interaction with the Libertarian Party in an official capacity was going to my district meeting.
Mm-hmm.
I drove, I think it was 120 miles to get to the close, like to one of them. And I'd been thinking about going to it for several years. I've been watching LPKY slash lpky.org/events. There's a calendar up there for meetings.
Okay.
I've been tracking that for quite a while, and I'd see that every once in a while, the closest meeting to me would be the Louisville meeting.
Yep.
However, that's not my district, and I had been meaning to go out there, but one thing or another, and I kept missing it. So I was talking to my girlfriend, Reagan, who you've met, and most people in the party have met. But she's a wonderful woman, and she encourages and supports me in a lot of things. And I mentioned to her that I wanted to go to a political meeting. I had never been to any political meeting for any party before. Mm-hmm. And I had been thinking about going for years, with primary emphasis in 2016, with the Johnson campaign really sparking a bit of that. But I didn't follow through because one thing or another. Mm-hmm. But she's like, well, we'll just go to the next one. And I'm like, well, it might be a little ways away, drive-wise. She's like, so we'll just go. And turns out the very next one was
good woman, by the way.
Yeah,
we'll go.
The very next one was it was in Warren County, so I had to drive from Shepherdsville, Kentucky, all the way down to Bowling Green. And I get there, and I didn't know who was the Libertarian in the room. It was at a Barnes & Noble, and I eventually locate at the time, district chair, Chris Dillingham. Right. And I kind of like to joke around that he suckered me into it a bit, because I'm like, oh, wow, libertarians. I've never met one in the wild before. And he's like, yeah, this is an unusual attendance. Usually we have more people here. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'll come back again. And he's like, oh, well, you're from where? And I'm like, Bullitt County. Chris follows up with, we actually don't have a county coordinator in Bullitt right now. Would you be interested in pursuing that position? And I'm like, yeah, I'd love to be helpful. And what Chris didn't disclose to me was that there wasn't a county coordinator in any county, and that our district party was just a couple guys, right. Wonderful guys, great guys. But basically, he's like, here's the opportunity, do what you can do, run with it. And we'd had a few people try to spin up county affiliates before. At the time, our state chairman was actually from Bullitt County, and he had spent several years trying to recruit friends and family to get involved and get engaged with the party, and an affiliate just never really clicked. But after a couple of months of talking around and talking to my girlfriend, talking to my friends, talking to family, trying to get whomever, everybody I talked to at Kroger, everybody I ran into at the mall, anything at all, politics. I just like, hey, you want to do the thing? We can do a thing. We can make an impact. And well, eventually, after a couple months, come February at our district convention, we were able to affiliate the Bullitt County Party. Chris Dillingham gave me, the thumbs up, like, way to go, man. And it eventually became, all right, Randall, now since you got enough people in Bullitt County, you move up to district, they hold down the fort there, and he'll go spin up Warren County with Joe Hunter and the guys down there. And then we had a Warren County affiliate. Yeah. And
here's a punchline is earlier Joe was calling you a sucker for getting conned in, but who spun up who is the chair of Warren County now?
Some sucker named Joe Hunter.
Ha
But yeah, then Kyle O'Donnell and the Philbacks, which sounds like a wonderful band name if you ever want to hear them play. They they spun up the Barron County Party, and Charles Altendorf, he and a friend of mine that I knew from gaming, spun up the Hardin County Party, and then we've got actually, I think it's 11 other people in other counties currently working either officially or unofficially as county coordinators to try to spin up their county parties. So since February of 2019 to today, we've gone from having our very first affiliate to having 4 affiliates plus a point of contact, somebody working on 11 additional. Now it's a little slow on some of them as population in a county gets lower and there's, few people willing to get involved, but it surprises you. There's actually a lot of people that want to get involved. They just don't know how. And that's why we really need to do more fair booths and things like that, such as the Bullet Blast. It's just this pandemic deal's kind of got in the way of that.
Yeah, and we had a grandiose plan. Randall had conned this guy into basically traveling the entire district, county at a time, and banging on Libertarian doors because we can get the voter data, and trying to, introduce himself and say, "Hey, I'm running for U.S. House of Representatives," and also be there with somebody else to sort of make the connection. So we were going to try to multitask the boots on the ground, sort of make the visits multi-purpose to try to get people engaged. But then the beer flu hit us.
Yeah.
So do we have a plan B, Randall? What is our plan B? What are we doing now?
Well, usually you can get plan B for about $50-$60 at Kroger, but our plan B is quite a bit more expensive, and it's mostly through social media. Rather than spend the hundreds of dollars doing fair booths here and there, and trying to get people to go and man those booths, which is actually the hard part. Getting somebody available to stand in 95-degree weather in the open without shade at the Hardin County Fair or something. It's a little draining and taxing on a volunteer. Especially because some people don't like seeing people advocating for one thing or another, even in a public space or public forum. But our plan B is to be as aggressive as we can by running as many candidates as we can in localized races, such as Jacob Clark out in Grayson County. He's a great candidate. He's working to build his community. He's been engaged with his community for years. And I think that he will give visibility to the party and hopefully net through his campaign a lasting impact, a vehicle that we can transfer infrastructure from campaign to campaign so that we can build a base and be competitive. Right. And that vehicle is a Grayson County party affiliate.
Right. And I mean, kind of patting myself on the back a little bit. I mean, that's kind of what I'm trying to do with this broadcast. I'm trying to sort of use Gary Johnson's plan back from 2012, just the idea that there are actually a lot of us. There are a lot of us.
Dozens.
No, there's a lot more than that. I mean, how many are registered in the state? About 10,000 now?
We broke 10,000, and it's a huge milestone. It doesn't sound like, wow, there's 3.5 or so many million people in Kentucky and 10,000 are registered Libertarian. But that doesn't account for the people like myself that were registered something else for 7-8 years. When I turned 18, I registered Republican because I was ignorant to the way the Libertarian primary worked.
Sure.
And it's not a bad word. It just means that I had, lack of knowledge.
Right. But we're all ignorant of more things than we're knowledgeable of.
We're ignorant of what we are ignorant of.
Yeah.
But I didn't know how the Libertarian primary worked. I didn't even know there was a Libertarian primary. And I thought that I was giving up something if I registered Libertarian. But once I did register Libertarian, I gained a group of people who share my values as amazingly as I could even imagine. While we differ from one to another on some minute detail here or there, some pretty major details every once in a while, the principles by which we build the foundation, that is the philosophy by which we live our lives, it's consistent. And that's something that I don't share with a lot of friends. It's something I don't share with a lot of family. But
Right.
with the people in the party, I know that they have those same core philosophical principles. And I even have a primary.
And intellectually, it sounds nice to be around people who have the same, core principles. That's lovely. And then you go to an event and you start hanging out with these people, and you tend to realize, oh wow, these are my family. And if I know I'm not alone in that. But I've got that from multiple libertarians. And, if you're a closet libertarian or a nose in the book libertarian or only at home libertarian, do come out, meet the people and the affiliates, when we can come out. Immerse yourself in the culture a little. I think you'll find it absurdly pleasing. It's really shocking how different it feels to immerse yourself in people who believe in libertarian principles. So I think you'll really enjoy that.
Yeah. These are the most accepting people I've ever met. Like, as long as you're not hurting anybody
Right.
or their
Right.
stuff, don't hurt their stuff.
Right. And I've tried describing that to some of my non-libertarian friends, and I don't think they quite get it. But you can, like me and Jacob disagree on a few things, but it's like, even when we disagree, the way we disagree is very agreeable. It's not the "you just want people to die" stuff you get with the left and right.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, do come out when we get there. So what is the immediate plan, Randall?
The immediate
You
plan.
mentioned online, but how?
Well, broadcasts such as this, Facebook, sharing memes. Memes actually do a lot of work in these days. That's actually how we get a lot of people engaged with the party, is just through social media and such.
Uh-huh.
I I'm also wanting to, as we get closer to our November election, I'd like to do I hate to refer to a phone campaign as aggressive, but an active series of phone calls, reaching out. A lot of libertarians don't like people reaching out to them because we are inherently reclusive individuals, and
Right.
that's kind of one of our primary disadvantages, is our own
Right.
philosophy of self-reliance generally
Right.
goes hand with isolation. But no man's an island. Nobody can make a pencil on their own. That's one Rob really likes.
I love that video. It's Milton Friedman. No one can make a pencil. Go. Yeah, for that matter, it's on my Facebook page if you want to go find it. It's an awesome little video.
Yeah. But yeah, just what I've really found worked best, and it's a little limited this week, hopefully in a couple more weeks. But the tactic that's worked absolutely best for me in recruiting people in my own county or other counties is actually getting involved in the politics.
Mm.
A lot of people like to advocate on Facebook for one thing or another, and they generally do it in regards to national issues.
Right.
When's the last time you went to a city council meeting and talked about a zoning ordinance? When's the last time you went to a fiscal court meeting and talked to the person who is mad about her house being eminent domained for a pipeline that no resident of the county is allowed to hook up onto, and is
Right.
exclusively is exclusively subsidizing, a foreign owned business inside your county?
Yeah, that's a really brilliant point, because we're all about free exchange, and eminent domain is the antithesis of that. I mean, we're kind of failing our cause if anybody within a 50-mile radius of us is dealing with eminent domain and we're not there with them screaming.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't stand up for your neighbor, you can't expect your neighbor to stand up for you. And even though with some of these issues going on in my county, being right south of Louisville, we actually have a lot of issue with eminent domain, but we even have issue with taxation without representation.
How
Uh,
so?
well, let's say that you're a Bullitt County resident and you work in Jefferson County.
Hmm.
You have to pay Jefferson County income tax.
Right. But you don't get to vote on.
You don't get to vote on that tax.
Right.
I mean, that's not even, and even within Bullitt County, I'm not a Shepherdsville resident. Shepherdsville is a county seat. Most of our warehouses and industry are within the city limits of Shepherdsville. And I've been hearing rumors of a speculated income tax in Shepherdsville on those warehouse workers. Most people in my age range in this county work in warehouses, but most of the residents of our county don't live in Shepherdsville. So they would be subject to taxation by a foreign body. I call it a foreign body because Shepherdsville city government is foreign to me. Louisville is foreign to Bullitt County. Indiana is foreign to Kentucky.
Right. Right.
That's kind of weird, to think of in that way. But, I'm Randall Daniel, then I'm a member of my family, then I'm a member of my community, then I'm a member of my county, then I'm a Kentuckian, and then I'm an American.
Right. Right. Randall, I think we worked through our list. Did you have anything else you wanted to cover?
Well, it feels like we've only been talking, 5 minutes, right?
21 minutes and 23 seconds.
Well, we can probably go a little longer. But I would like to walk through the affiliate process. If anybody out there is looking to get involved with their local LP, or even Democrats or Republicans, Greens, Constitutionalists, Reform Party, any of them, more people need to be engaged at the local level, regardless of your affiliation. I don't really have, I have a preference of party, right? And I don't like the concept of a duopoly. I don't like that there's only two major parties here in Kentucky. But I think that getting more people involved in the conversation is beneficial to all those in the conversation. So hopefully I can, encourage you to go out and join your local GOP, Democrats, Libertarians, Greens, whatever floats your boat, But I only know the affiliate process for the Libertarians because that's the one that's near and dear to my heart and the one that I've actually gone through. We have an executive committee structure in which we elect representatives to do the functions of the party on a term, and those terms are generally 2 years. So going back to that party structure, we've got your state party, your district party, and then your county parties. So if you live in a district that has a district party, you can either get engaged with your state party, your district party, or spin up your county party. And I'm going to emphasize and recommend, please localize. Spin up your county party. A lot of people like to come in because there's a vacuum of opportunity and they immediately want to get involved in national politics. Well, your mayor and sheriff have more impact on your day-to-day life than whoever's in the White House.
Right.
But I digress. The process is you need 3 people minimum, and that's a requirement put on us by the state of Kentucky. And that's because you need somebody who calls the meeting to order and actually navigates the rules of the body during that meeting. That's a chair. That person's also the legal signator of the affiliate. So if the affiliate wishes to enter into a contract, it's the chair's signature that is binding. Then you have the second required office is a secretary, somebody who actually keeps track of the non-financial documents, notes, and actions, motions of the party. The third is the treasurer, who does, like the secretary, or mostly a record-keeping job, but they do specifically the financial aspects. And those are your 3 required. Our bylaws allow that you may, in lieu of a secretary, have a vice chair who, when the secretary is absent or vacant, performs the duties of the secretary, and that is therefore sufficient to Kentucky law. So you can either have chair, vice chair, treasurer, or chair, secretary, treasurer, or if you got enough people and you really want to go at it, you can have a chair, a vice chair, a secretary, a treasurer, up to 4 at-larges, and a precinct captain for every precinct in your county. which
Right.
is over 50 here in Bullitt County. So you could really fill in quite a few people and have some butts in seats if you wanted. But
Right.
it'd
So
be phenomenal if we had it.
so a place I philosophically disagree with some others in the party sometimes is I don't like to start anything with the bare minimum because you never know when somebody's going to get distracted with a job or something like that. So you want to overshoot a little, but yeah. So basically, somebody to run the meeting, somebody to take the notes, and somebody to deal with the books. Do I have it?
Yeah, yeah. And then if you wanted to start up a county party, and you think you've got, even if you're just the one person, reach out to your district chair, reach out to the state party. You know, you can go to lpky.org. There's a sign up button. Click that. Christy Kendrick will get your information, and she's an amazing, amazing person. She was one of the first. She was the first person in the party to ever call me. So, but yeah,
Well,
or if you're in District 2, reach out to me on Facebook. Reach out to the District 2 page on Facebook. But
mhm.
it only takes about 60 days to go through all of the notices of notifying the people in the county that we're going to have. Oh, somebody's asking about Davies County. We don't
Yes.
have a Davies County affiliate currently. However, we have had a few people raise their hands saying that they would be interested in attending meetings out there once the pandemic lifts or the lockdown lifts. But nobody has specifically said, "Ooh, I want to be the point of contact." And
Right.
that's the really important thing. Once you get that initial person in a county, then you really start to build up. So the bare minimum is one.
Right. So
And
just hypothetically,
yeah,
because I see this Nicole person around a lot. So just hypothetically, Nicole could let you know that she wants to be the coordinator, right?
yeah,
And then District 2 would bring it to a vote as to whether or not. And we have this guy at District 2 who, like, every time is like, well, I don't know, Nicole. Tell me about Nicole. And, Randall ends up telling him about Nicole, and we smile, and then Nicole gets to be the coordinator. So, Nicole, if you're interested in the job, let Randall know, and he'll be explaining to me, whoever that gentleman is in a meeting, all about you.
yeah.
And we'll get that going.
Yeah, and then what we would do with that once we have our county coordinator, right? Somebody
Mm-hmm.
who the other interested people in the county can kind of communicate with and talk with, because we are a finite party, we're a finite body, and I don't understand how the hell, and pardon my language there, but I don't understand how Christy deals with everybody reaching out to her all the time like she does. She's phenomenal in her ability to get back to people.
No one
But
knows.
I mean, I'm responsible for 1/6 the workload that Christy has within the party, and
Mm-hmm.
that's just the District 2 people reaching out to me, and I want to delegate. So I
Right.
don't know how Christy. I mean, she's just amazing, but once again, I'm getting a little tangential, but
Well, while we're tangential, I have this note from Joe I don't want to lose. Joe is pointing out to us it's the local battles that win the war, not the national declarations. And that is very true. Part of this is infrastructure. So, what he just said is obvious if you're electing a libertarian constable like David Watson. But it's also true if you're electing a U.S. congressman like myself. It's just it's a bunch of local battles. Or if we're going to elect Brad Barron in order to ditch Mitch, it's your neighbors that listen to you. They don't. I mean, Brad's going to do everything he can, and we're gonna do all the air war we can. But it's individuals out there making contact that makes a huge difference. And likewise, even if we're going to make Joe Jorgensen our president, we got to get busy on the local level.
yeah.
Sorry
Well,
for the interruption there.
Oh no, you're good. I tend to, interrupt myself with tangents and thoughts a lot. But getting back to Nicole, after this video, I'm gonna send you a message if you don't send me one. So send me a message. I'll give you my phone number. We can get on the phone tonight and we can start talking about how we can spin up Davies County.
Oh.
The first step is appointing you as a coordinator so that we have a point of contact for the other people that we reach out and find in Davies County to come together. Somebody to kind of start leading them. We would call the district party would then vote once you have a good feel that you'll have a minimum of 3 people. We'll call a convention to organize that county affiliate. Give about I think it's bylaws require a 45-day notice. So in the local paper or, in addition to Facebook and a few other platforms, we'll put out that we intend to have that convention. That way people locally have a chance to join and, become a chair, a vice chair, or what have you. And after that 45 days and we have that convention, the chair of that body is now on the district executive committee. We'll start trying to field candidates and doing anything and everything we can. But, getting back to kind of where I was going with the whole thing is no one person has the bandwidth to organize every county in this, in Kentucky. There's 120 of them. That's just so many people and so much work. But when you team up 1 or 2 people, like when Charles spun up Hardin County, me and him, we started off with replicating, right? I had myself working on Hardin County. I convinced Charles to join in on that. At first, he wasn't willing to be the chair or anything like that with Hardin County because he had a lot of work with his, a lot of commitment with his job. But then we both sought out to find 1 more person each. And what's really amazing about that is if you find one and then you and that one both find another one, now you have 3.
We can make the party go viral.
Yeah. It's literally replicating ourselves like a virus.
Right.
And it's just amazing how exponential that is. And if you don't have time, if you really don't think that you have the time to make a long-term commitment to the party, if you don't think that you can become a chair or anything like that, just find 1 more person to replace yourself. That there's value in that because you may not have time this year or next year, but I'm young, I'm 26. I'm going to put the next 70, 80 years, if I live that long, into this party, into this movement, unless the philosophy by some oddity is, miraculously proven wrong, but I've yet to seen it proven wrong. So I'm committed, and I take a day at a time, a step at a time, 1 person at a time. And I know that's slow growth, but it's consistent growth, and it is actually exponential.
Right. And there are some career people out there. Those are handy too. I mean, you working, if you're a 70-hour a week at your job person, I bet you got a few coins to throw us, and that's handy too, because we need to buy stuff for the fairs. We need to buy stuff for mailing to people. We need to buy stuff for social media because we actually do boost some of this stuff. There's a lot of expenses. So we know we need those too. Whoever you are, my point is, whoever you are, if you're passionate about liberty, there is a way you can contribute to the party. Absolutely.
Time, talent, and treasure, all 3 have value.
That's right.
Well,
do we have any questions?
Come on, give me questions. While we wait on a question, I'd like to mention that I am running for state house this year. I haven't made much of much leg, or I haven't done much on that yet.
Right.
I believe, the last Libertarian to file and nominate this entire cycle in our party, so I'm the freshest candidate. So right. Robert Perry, he got to set out about a year ahead of me on his campaign. But he's had some good people helping him. But
yeah.
But
the lady that helps with the graphics, you mean?
Yeah. But April's amazing.
for those who don't know, Randall's my campaign manager. But yeah.
But I'm running for House District 26 here in Kentucky. I'll have my site and everything up pretty soon. I got to get fitted for a new jacket because I haven't dressed like a respectable human being in years. But I did set up my bank accounts and everything yesterday, and filing paperwork with KREF and such. But yeah, more information on precinct captains.
Right.
So a precinct captain is our most localized version of the party. Basically, a precinct is about 1,000 or so people, give or take, which is still a lot of people to try to communicate with, but it's usually your direct neighborhood. So when you go to vote this November, or in this case, this June for your primary, your voting booths are generally organized by precinct. And so it's those people who vote at that location with you. You'd be responsible and the representative voice of those people to your county party. In the grand scheme of things, a county party is a massive, massive entity. Bullitt County is the 10th largest county in the state of Kentucky, but that's by population. It's got about 80,000 people in it. And to think that an executive committee of 3 minimum people would have any remote idea of what's going on in the county as a whole on the truly local level, neighborhood by neighborhood, there's just no way. I mean, that's why we need the precinct captains.
Kristen wants to know if you can make people attend socials in D4. Well, first of all, you put the NAP in there, and see, I hereby certify that I do not believe in or advocate the initiation of force as a means of achieving social, economic, or political goals. So forcing someone to come to your socials right out. Sorry.
But, you know, you can get me anywhere in the state for barbecue or cheesecake. So.
That's kind of the thing, is you got to know your audience, which is kind of part of the layered structure to begin with. Is you got to get to know your people and what's going to motivate them. So I tend to be like a get business done person. So I want a mission. So if you have people like me, you need a mission.
Yeah.
And then you're going to have people who really focus on the social aspect of it, and really they want to get together on a weekly basis, and it's 90% beer and chips and 10% hey, we got a fair coming up. That's okay too. Know your people. You have to know how to get your individual people out. Other ideas there, Randall?
The format that's really worked well for me, and I got to start off with it in Bullitt County as originally the Bullitt County chair, was to have a structured business meeting scheduled for about 45 minutes at the Shepherdsville City Hall. It was a nice central location to the county. It has some prestige in it in that it is a government building, so people don't feel that, oh, wow, we're going to somebody's house, or, some randoms, whatever.
I forgot my D&D dice.
But so at the Shepherdsville City Hall, it was also where the Democrats and Republicans in my county met. And so we just kind of emulated what was working. Now, what we also did is we had a social to immediately follow each Bullitt County meeting at a restaurant that we would choose, given what people were kind of feeling that week. You would go to the Cattleman Steakhouse, which is right down the road sometimes, or we'd go to a chicken place or what have you, just depending on how the body felt. So we kind of got to use the best of both, because we would let people know where we were going for dinner. So if somebody only wanted to show up for the dinner and social aspects, they could. But if somebody, for example, is a busy person like the Bullitt County chair, who's my replacement now that I'm the district chair, Logan, he's got a wife and young kids, so he can carve out 45 minutes to come and talk business and get some work done.
Right.
But to go have a beer and talk for 2.5 hours afterward, that's not really fair to his wonderful wife who's watching the young kids while he's out having a beer. So.
Right.
Just diversity of events, diversity of interests. Every once in a while, we try to do a bigger event. Kyle O'Donnell, our events coordinator, he did a camping trip for us, and we had people come out from other districts just to go camping with us.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Most notably, we had our gubernatorial candidate that year come out. And it's really an interesting experience when you get to see somebody running for governor also cut firewood.
Yeah. Joe wants to know why I have 2 copies of the same Linux. The real question is, why do I have copies of Linux on my shelf anymore at all? I haven't touched those in a decade. Those need to go away, man. But you can never have too much Linux.
Joe, if you're looking for duplicate copies of stuff, there are 7 copies of the original PS1 Final Fantasy VII right there. I collect video games. That's what my backdrop is. All of that white behind my head, those are Wii games. And then I've got like PS2, PlayStation 3, and then down there somewhere is PS1 and classic Nintendos below those red boxes behind me.
Cool. So you guys good? You have everything you need? Anybody want to chime in with another question or repeat a question I missed or something? I think they're good.
Yeah. I know we kind of talked a little longer than you intended.
Yeah, I'm trying to get these down to like half an hour just so that
I'm too long-winded, Rob.
Well, I feel like people look at like this video is an hour and 73 minutes. That doesn't work anyway, but okay, so 2 hours and 13 minutes. But you know, they don't want to watch that. But you know, I think 30 minutes probably a better chunk. But you guys chime in. Let me know what you think. Let me know if I'm going too long, going too short. Do share these. Do point out to me people you want on, topics you want covered. Oh, Joe's wanting to know more about your candidacy. Well, let's not go into it too much, but we're absolutely going to have Randall back once he has the web page there. And it does look like Chris is pointing out, it looks like a continuous background between the two of us, but
it's funny.
No.
Oh, well,
it gets confusing, actually, guys. I don't know. I'm gonna have to figure this out one day. But yeah. Yeah, we're absolutely gonna have Randall back on when he gets his campaign a little more together, you know, ready to accept donations.
All right. Well, for fairness, right? I just recently got my paper saying that I'm on the ballot.
That's right.
And my emphasis has been working on other people's campaigns the last, 6 months. So I was getting our top of our tickets here in Kentucky squared away, and now I can start giving maybe a few days out of the week to get my own campaigning gear. But I actually have what I would consider, no offense to any of our other candidates in the state, but I think I have the most competitive race.
Well, I got you a volunteer. Granted, he was going to volunteer anyway, but I'm claiming credit for it. It happened on my broadcast. I'm totally claiming credit for getting you Kyle O'Donnell to do your webpage.
So Kyle messaged me a week ago, or over a week now, offering to do my webpage, and he's like, "All right, I need all of this biographical stuff from you in a headshot photo," and And for those of you who have known me for a while, this isn't my normal hair. I cleaned up my appearance a bit for running for office. I had a mohawk, and it was a very tall mohawk. And it didn't work too well because I'm thinning a little bit in the front here. But so now I got shorter hair, and I'm a little more presentable. Yeah. And but yeah, long story short, yes, Kyle, please help me. Could we look at each other?
Yeah. How's that? How are we doing? I'm fine, Randall. How are you?
I can't see anything anyway. I took off my glasses. I normally wear glasses, but they were look.
Yeah.
Like so much reflection.
So he's blind.
Going blind, actually, but not blind yet. So
all right. Cool. So tomorrow night we have Frank Harris back. Frank's going to be his eclectic self, but we're going to be talking about things like his platform. I'm almost positive we're going to be talking about legalize it, just because it's hard to have Frank around and not talking about legalizing it.
Frank
He wants
Pleasant Harris.
he wants to talk about Elon Musk a little more. He's become a bit of an Elon Musk fanboy, and we're gonna talk a little about the protest. I'm interested in what went wrong, what went right, because Randall and I didn't get to go. Randall and I were at the convention, but you know, I think everything went fine while Frank was around, but then Frank left, and some people after him that I think he actually went and done some things we frowny upon.
Different day.
Different day.
Yeah, the one that Frank attended was organized for Saturday, and then the deplorable act which occurred
Right.
occurred on Sunday. That unfortunately occurred.
Right. And not to just hide behind it, but I mean the NAP is really core to our culture. And while you're recruiting, I mean, kind of my experiences, if you introduce somebody to the NAP and they're like, oh, of course, because if they're going to actually join the party at some time, they're going to have to sign that pledge. And if they're like, of course, then great. But if they have problems with it or don't understand it or something like that, it's probably a miss anyway. That's my experience, but maybe I'm judgy.
Yeah, people change over time. So, circle back to your friends that object on one small thing or another, debate them, don't berate them, educate them.
That's great. Okay, guys, come back tomorrow, hang out with me and Frank, and help me get word out there, like, share, comment, all those sorts of things, make Facebook, play the algorithm for us a little bit. And I will see you tomorrow. Have a good night.
Good night, everybody.